All right, today we're going to dive into a story that feels almost like a cosmic myth, you know? It's this fantastic fable about power, about shortcuts, and about always reading the fine print of the universe. This is the story of Sir Pent in Soul School.
But let's kick things off with a question for you. Imagine, just for a second, you're on the very edge of getting everything you've ever wanted. A kingdom, a galaxy, you name it, it's yours. But there's a catch. To get it, you have to prove you can actually handle it. So, would you be patient and do the work, or would you start looking for a shortcut?
And really, this gets to the absolute heart of our story. It's summed up perfectly in this quote from one of our key players, the cosmic mentor Lord Blue. It's a heck of a warning, right? It's about the danger of ambition when it's not balanced out by a little bit of wisdom.
Okay, let's get into it. Our story starts with a prince who is charming, super intelligent, and, well, profoundly arrogant. And he is just sick and tired of waiting.
So on one side, you've got Sir Pent. He feels like he's ready to rule now. All this waiting around, this studying, this discipline, he sees it as a total waste of his amazing talents. And on the other side, you've got his mentor, Lord Blue, who gets that real power, real sovereignty isn't something you're just given, it's something you earn through mastering yourself. And right there, that's the central conflict. Impatience versus wisdom.
I mean, you can just hear the persuasive charm dripping from his words, can't you? He's not asking for the whole universe, no. Just a little galaxy to practice with. He's framing his incredible arrogance as simple eagerness to learn. It's a classic move for someone who truly believes the rules just don't apply to them. So, Lord Blue and the Council, they see the danger signs, but they also can't just deny his free will. So, they come up with a deal. Sir Pent won't get his kingdom. Not yet. Instead, he's going to be sent to this special training university on a little planet called Earth. It's a soul school designed to prove he can actually handle the pressure. He agrees, probably thinking, how hard could it be?
Now, of course, every school has its rules, and you can bet a cosmic university for souls is no different. So let's take a look at the terms and conditions Sir Pent agrees to right before he heads off.
Let's break down this cosmic fine print, shall we? Okay, rule number 1, enrollment is permanent until you graduate. No dropouts. Simple as that. 2, he gets a personal conscience, which is basically a direct line to universal truth. 3, spiritual helpers are on standby, but, and this is a big but, he has to actually ask for their help to activate them. 4, tutors. These are souls who've already mastered the lessons. Well, they have to be earned. And finally, number 5, he gets a temporary biosuit to help him navigate the physical world.
And then comes the catch. The big one. Lord Blue drops this final ominous warning. The second Sir Penton arrives in the dense physical world of Earth, he's going to have total amnesia. He won't remember he's a prince, he won't remember the deal he just made, and he sure won't remember any of the rules he just agreed to.
So our prince lands on Earth with no memory of who he is. How do you think his first day of school goes? Does he rise to the occasion and start learning his lessons? Not exactly. His rebellion is immediate and it is decisive.
The moment he arrives in his new biosuit, that core personality of his, all that impatience and arrogance, it just comes flooding right back in. He feels like the lessons are annoying, the teachers are beneath him, and that little inner voice of his conscience, just a nuisance. So in his very first act of defiance, he mentally slams a giant iron gate shut, completely severing the connection to all the help he was offered.
So now he's on his own, and he decides, fine. If I can't be a king, I'll just build my own kingdom right here inside the school. And his strategy? Pure calculated manipulation. He finds another student named Diesel, a guy who's failing all his tests and is just drowning in guilt and resentment. Sir Pent doesn't offer to help him study, he offers him an escape. He tells Diesel his resentment is justified and promises him all the rewards of mastery without any of the hard work.
And this right here, this is the chilling, seductive logic he's selling. He teaches Diesel that responsibility is for suckers. Consequences? Oh, those are just a burden you can trick someone else into carrying for you. And that becomes the very foundation of his shadow kingdom.
And make no mistake, Sir Pent's rebellion isn't just some small-time prank. This is the long con. It's a huge, elaborate scheme to build an entire empire on the backs of broken rules and, well, broken souls.
So, the school now basically has two competing curriculums. You've got the official path, right?
It's difficult, it requires discipline and accountability, but it leads to true, genuine mastery. And then you have Serpent's gilded path. It's easy, it's indulgent, and it's built on tricking other people into taking your test for you. And for any struggling student, that is a very, very tempting offer.
Okay, so here's the million-dollar question. How does he get away with all this? Well, every single time one of his followers skips a lesson, gives into anger, or makes a selfish choice, that negative energy, that misqualified energy, it doesn't just vanish. Serpent collects it. He builds this massive reservoir of chaos that he uses as both a personal power source and a shield.
Meanwhile, back in the higher realms, the Cosmic Council is watching all this unfold, and they are horrified. Their attempts to step in get more and more dramatic. First, they try a great flood to just reset the whole experiment. Then, they send fire and brimstone to wipe out the biggest pockets of corruption. And finally, they unleash a series of 10 plagues to try and free the students he's enslaved.
But here's the crazy part. None of it works on Serpent. Not a scratch. And here's the genius and terrible reason why. He uses that reservoir of chaos, the very energy he stole from his own followers, as a shield. When the floodwaters rise, he stays perfectly dry behind a wall of their mistakes. When fire rains down, he's completely untouched. His followers bear the full, agonizing brunt of the consequences, while he just sits back, perfectly safe.
I mean, this quote just says it all, doesn't it? The whole idea of fairness, justice, responsibility, that's for the students, for the sheep. In his world, there are only two types of people: predators and prey. The clever ones who make the rules, and the caught ones who suffer from them.
So you'd think this is all headed for some huge, epic, cosmic showdown, right? A massive battle for the fate of the school. But the way this story wraps up, it's not a fight. It's something much more profound. It's a graduation.
See, all this time, while Serpent was busy building his shadow kingdom, the other students, they were just quietly doing the work. They were facing their tests, learning their lessons, mastering their own energy. And they finally reach a point where they make this powerful, unified declaration. They aren't trying to fight the darkness. They're choosing to transmute it with love.
And that powerful choice leads to this, a tipping point, 51%. Turns out there's a universal law baked into the rules of Soul School. Once 51% of any student's energy is qualified with mastery and love, they've passed. So, what do you think happens when a critical mass of students all hit that threshold at the exact same time?
Their collective light becomes so incredibly powerful that it doesn't destroy Serpent's reservoir of chaos. It purifies it. It turns all that murky, negative energy right back into pure, brilliant light. And just like that, the students graduate. They achieve ascension. Serpent isn't defeated in some grand battle. He's simply left behind. And really, that's the central lesson here, isn't it? True power isn't about finding clever shortcuts. It's about the slow, steady, difficult work of mastering yourself. And sometimes, the best way to deal with chaos isn't to fight it, but to simply outshine it.
Which leaves us with our final lingering question. Sir Pent is now all alone in the empty hallways of the school. His followers are gone, his shield of chaos has vanished, and he is facing a backlog of every single test he ever skipped. He still has his free will, but with an entire universe of lessons stretching out in front of him, you really have to wonder, what's a prince to do now?